Hey and welcome to the training. My name's Jay Williams and today I thought I'd make a little bit of an effort. I've put this beautiful shirt on and I don't normally wear a shirt, but one of the many joys of working in this new age, this life that so many of us have become accustomed to as we work from home over the last 12 to 18 months, is that you as the viewer only get to see what goes on above the camera, not what's going on below the camera. Now there's a saying in our industry, how you do anything is how you do everything. And I just want you to consider for a second, over the last 12 to 18 months, there's probably been a lot of unknowns, a lot of uncertainty. And you may have experienced quite a lot of stress, and for some of you, you might have actually experienced a massive amount of boredom. Now what I've observed is people typically respond in one of two ways. The person who sits in camp A, and this doesn't matter whether I'm talking about their relationship, whether I'm talking about business, or I'm talking about getting in shape. This type of person, when there's stress, when there's lots of unknown and lots of uncertainty, they jump into action. They get into committed action. They find a way, they snap out of it, they pivot. And this type of person, we've observed that they have actually found themselves getting fitter and more focused than they've ever been before in their lives. Now the person who sits in camp number 2, and this is probably you if you're watching this training right now, is the type of person that when they're under stress, when there's lots of unknowns, when there is lots of uncertainty, when they're bored, the way that they deal with all of that is by eating their way through a global pandemic. It's their way of suppressing the emotions instead of actually dealing with them head on and confronting those uncomfortable feelings. Now this is the very reason why I decided to put together this training today. And this training is going to show you how busy businessmen can lose 10 to 20 pounds of fat without spending 2 hours a day in the gym. So I'm ready, so let's get into it. So here we go. Now I know I'm joking around a little bit when I talk about these two camps and eating your way through a pandemic, but I do realize that for so many, this has resulted in them putting on weight and not feeling particularly great about themselves. And here is what some of our clients have actually shared with us, the true cost of being this way. You hate the way you look in the mirror. Sex life? What's that? Libido is out the window. Easily out of breath and can't keep up with the kids, if you have kids. Feeling drained and lethargic during the day. Your partner's poking your belly fat and you feel like crap. Lacking confidence, and that impacts your business. It overflows into your business. Now here's some brutal truth. The average person will try 126 diets in their lifetime. 126! Now that can be the same diet 126 times, or it could be a number of different diets. Now for me, this is not okay, and something has to change. So by the end of this training, you will understand the 4 fundamental pillars of full body transformation and the lies that people have been telling you around food and nutrition. The lies that have been keeping you stuck, that have been overwhelming you with more information instead of creating what we call transformation. So what makes this different? There is nothing for sale. Just pure value. And we're not just going to be giving you more information, but proven strategies you can implement right away to create lasting behavioral change. So why stick around? Well, for those who are serious, and only for those who are serious, if you stay to the end of the webinar, we're going to add even more free value. There's going to be an opportunity to get a free custom plan to help you move forward with your full body transformation. So who are we? Well, as I said, my name's Jay and I'm a mindset and transformational coach, and I work alongside my business partner Rob, who you can see there, who's a qualified body transformation coach, and together we have over 15 years experience in behavioural change and full body transformation. Now, while we might be based out of the UK, we do actually work with entrepreneurs and businessmen from all over the world, of all ages and of all shapes and sizes. And you can see Rob with his partner there, Georgia, and his two boys, Oliver and Alfie, and then myself with my partner Vicky down to the right. So here are some of the clients we've actually worked with. You can see different guys, different shapes, different sizes. Now, what makes us different and unique is that we only work with entrepreneurs. We realize that being entrepreneurs and business owners ourselves, that so many entrepreneurs are going it alone, and we've also realized that actually, one, it's less fun going it alone, and two, you can create more effective results and faster results by being in a community of people who are already doing the thing that you want to be doing. Now, how do we create this transformation? Well, the way that we create this transformation, the way we've done it for so many of our clients, is through the CEO Body Transformation Method, which is designed to help you to become the CEO of your life, not just someone who changes your fitness and your healthy lifestyle. So how have we helped so many of these clients? Well, the way we do it is using something called the CEO Body Transformation Method. And it's uniquely designed not just to get you in shape, but it's designed to help you become the CEO of your life. And the way in which we do that is through 4 fundamental pillars. The first pillar is behavioral change. Now, so many people give you more information, but it's not just information and strategy you need. It's transformation. We need to be able to change our behaviors. Pillar number 2 is about flexible fitness. Fitness routines and schedules that fit around your needs and your lifestyle. Pillar number 3 is about sustainable nutrition. We're going to be dispelling some of the myths and sharing some of the lies that you've been told around nutrition and what to do about it. And then finally, the secret sauce, HIIT accountability. And we're going to jump into these in a little bit more detail. Now, what have you tried? Now, you might have tried apps, and you may have discovered that these apps don't actually work. There's plenty of distractions on your phone already, and they really lack the accountability that you need to actually create the change you want to create. Then we have YouTube and Insta videos, which you've tried, which is more of a blanket approach. It lacks specificity. I can never say that word. Specificity. And so when we're working out, the workouts and what we're doing isn't really tailored to our unique and specific goals and outcomes we want to create for ourselves. And then finally, wasting time in the gym. I know you are a busy business owner and time is one of your most valuable assets. So you don't want to be spending hours in the gym. You don't want to be making a bunch of decisions. You already make a bunch of decisions already. Now you're probably wondering, what is actually possible, Jay? Well, this really depends on you. The clients we shared with you earlier, their results, they're not typical, but they are possible. We can train for many things, but one thing we cannot train is for attitude. And so with the right attitude and being open-minded to what we're sharing, then we can help you create the results that you really want for yourself. So how can people really create these results? Well, as I mentioned, there are 4 steps to lose 10 to 20 pounds of fat without spending 2 hours a day in the gym. Pillar number 1, behavioral change. There is no physical transformation without mental transformation. But here's the truth. You don't want to change. So how do I know? How do I know that you don't want to change? Well, if you really wanted to change, you'd have already done it by now and you wouldn't be watching this training. See, a person will only change when the need to change outweighs the need to stay the same. But there is good news. There is a proven formula for creating long-lasting habits. And you are already a master, believe it or not. Unfortunately, you've been a master of the wrong habits, the bad type of habits, but we're going to help you to turn that around today. Now, the first thing you need to understand, if we're going to create behavioral change, if we're going to create effective habits, we need to understand that human behavior is motivated by one of two things. We're motivated to move away from pain, and we're motivated to move towards pleasure. Now, right now, you're associating more pleasure to staying where you are to actually creating the change you want to create. So you stay where you are. So in order to change, we must find a different way. I want to do a little bit of an experiment with you first. I want you to think about what's the first thing you think of when you hear the gym. Now, you may have gone, ugh, the gym, hate the gym. Some of you may have gone, I love the gym. Oh, so good to be in the gym. I really enjoy being in the gym, the hype, the activity, really enjoy it. Some people went meatheads. So some of you associate pleasure and some of you associate pain. 5 a.m. Some of you went, oh my word, 5 a.m. I'm not a morning person. I'm a night owl. Some of you went, yeah, 5 a.m. Let's go. I love getting up early in the morning. Let's get into the day. Chocolate brownie, melting chocolate brownie. Some of you just went, oh my God, chocolate brownie, I can taste it in my mouth, the richness of the chocolate with some of the ice cream just melting in my mouth. And you might be salivating right now and feeling this pleasurable experience in your mouth. And for some of you, you went, no, don't like chocolate brownie, pain. I prefer lemon cheesecake. I prefer a gatto. I prefer an ice cream or a donut. Pleasure. Now, with this understanding of how this shapes human behavior, we can create new, lasting habits. Now, how do we do it? Well, there are 4 steps to this. First of all, make it obvious. Second, make it irresistible. Third, make it easy. Fourth, make it instantly rewarding. So let's get into these. First of all, make it obvious. Now, if you're going to complete your workouts, if you're going to follow through consistently, we need to have an obvious trigger or a stimulus in our environment which triggers to our brain when we see it, it's time to do the workout. So one of the things our clients do and we recommend to them is take your clothes out the night before and place them out somewhere where you can see them. So when you get up in the morning and it's time to do the workout, your brain will automatically see the clothes and say, hey, it's time for a workout. So you're more likely to actually follow through. The second one, make it irresistible. It must be attractive if we're going to work out. So one of the ways we can do that is by actually asking ourselves the question, how am I going to feel when I look in the mirror and I see I'm in great shape and I'm feeling strong? How am I going to feel when my partner is tearing my clothes off because she can't get enough of me or he can't get enough of me? How am I going to feel when I have the energy to run after my kids and I'm not out of breath? How am I going to feel when I have the energy to crush it in my business every single day? This is going to remind you of why you are doing this. And this is super, super powerful. So we've got to make it irresistible. The third step is to make it easy. The brain likes a path of least resistance. So we must remove the obstacles to following through with the habit. Now, one of the ways in which you can do this is the night before, prep your clothes, prep your water bottle, and then prep any equipment that you're going to be using during your workout. Make sure there's a clear space so there's nothing that stands in the way of you and actually following through and working out. And then the final one, make it instantly rewarding. It has to be instantly rewarding. I'm not talking about in a month or 3 months or 1 year. Our brain is motivated to move towards pleasure. So what happens is when we are rewarded for a behavior, we're more likely to do this. This is just like when you were younger. When you were a good boy, your parents rewarded you. When you're a bad boy, yeah, they punish you. So the behaviors we repeat are the ones we're actually rewarded for. So one of the things you can do is pull up a progress chart and have a little numbers on it. On every day you complete a workout, you tick it off. And that will trigger dopamine into your bloodstream, and it will trigger endorphins, which is going to create what we call a feedback loop, i.e. you're going to do the behavior over and over and over again because it's pleasurable for you. Now the second pillar is what we call flexible fitness. Now first of all, we must understand, are you training or are you exercising? So let's separate these distinctions. Many people exercise, and the definition of exercise is an activity requiring a physical effort carried out to sustain health and fitness. Now this can quite often feel like an obligation. It can quite often feel like, oh, I've got to work out because it's just the thing that people do. Now there's a big difference between working out and training. Training is the action of teaching a person or animal a particular skill or behavior. We must train our body like we must train our mind. We must condition it to follow through if we're actually going to create results. And here's the truth. There is no such thing as a one-size-fits-all. Every client we work with is unique and has unique needs. They may have had injuries in the past. I've had tore my rotator cuff in my shoulder and tore my ligaments in my ankle. So I'll have different needs to maybe what you have. Different people, different ages, different shapes, different sizes, different lifestyles, different amounts of time in order to be able to work out. And one of the biggest questions we get asked is, how many times a week should I train? Well, it depends on you really. How busy you are, your training age. When was the last time you actually trained? Some people haven't trained for a long period of time. How long can you train for each day? Because we know you're actually busy. But the good news is you can train as little as 3 to 5 days a week and still see incredible results. But the only way you can do that is through very specific workouts that can be completed in under 30 minutes a day. And yes, you read that right. You can strip away that body fat in under 30 minutes a day. And here's an example of what that type of workout might look like. Here's our custom built app where you can see a sample of how our clients access their particular workouts. Moving on to pillar number 3, sustainable nutrition. Now there's a lot of confusion in the world of dieting. There's a lot of confusion about what people should be eating, what's good, what's bad. There's a lot of diets on there. As I said earlier, the average person will try 126 diets in their lifetime. Now we need to understand that all diets work, but there's a problem. You know what diets may be like. They're restrictive. And what happens when you come off the diet? Yeah, you know what happens. Not just one biscuit, a whole pack of biscuits. Not just one donut, a whole pack of donuts. And when we restrict ourselves in this way, we set ourselves up for failure. The problem with diets is they are not sustainable. This is a way of living, it's a way of being that we need to take on if we're actually going to create this change. So to cut fat, you need to set up your nutrition so it's in line with your specific body goals and your lifestyle. Now, one of the myths I just want to quickly dispel here is that calorie counting doesn't actually work. There's many people who say calorie counting doesn't work. And these people have used what are called online calculators to work out how many calories they should be consuming if they're going to lose weight. But the problem with these online calculators is that you type in a few metrics in there and it gives you a number. Now this number doesn't consider your lifestyle setup, your history, your background. It doesn't consider any of those factors. And what happens is when you actually start to consume a certain amount of calories in accordance with what the calculator told you is the right thing to do, some people even find that they don't lose weight, but they actually put on weight. And so this leads to this myth that calorie counting doesn't actually work. So what happens is you put on weight and you find yourself overweight. And so you eat more calories than you burn. In other words, there's more energy going in than there is coming out. Now, if we're going to strip away that fat, if we're going to lose weight, we need to actually go into what's called a calorie deficit. Now, a calorie deficit is when you burn more calories than what you actually consume. More energy out than in. But here's the truth. Most people have no idea what's in their food and what they're putting into their body. And a question I'd have for you is, do you? But it's not your fault, because here's an example of what marketers tell you is healthy. They tell you a bunch of lies. So we have an example here of what's in some dried banana. Now sometimes this is positioned as a healthy snack. 306 calories, which has 64 grams of sugar, versus actually just simply eating a fresh banana, which actually has 90 calories and 18 grams of sugar. And here's another example. We have trendy food versus food that's actually frowned upon, that you're told is bad for you. But when we're doing calorie counting, you can see how understanding this can be really effective. So we have one medium avocado, some chia seeds on sourdough, 505 calories, versus what everybody else has told you. Bacon and egg on sourdough is unhealthy, it's bad for you, 360 calories. Now, how do we track all this? How do we know what's in our food? Well, there's a great app which you can download. It's called MyFitnessPal, and you're going to be able to track all of the nutrients in your food, and you're going to see exactly how many calories you're consuming right now through what you're eating. What gets measured gets managed. Until you know where you are, where you're starting from, you cannot do anything about it. So we recommend using that app to track how much you're eating, what's your daily calorie intake. Now the final pillar, and this is really the secret sauce, is HIIT accountability. High intensity accountability. Now there's a reason why 80% of New Year's resolutions fail by the 1st of February. And for so many, it's because they're trying to lone wolf it. They're trying to go it alone. I can work hard and I can get there. And for some, that works out. But for so many, they actually fail because they lack the accountability. Now, you may have heard this saying before. The environment is king. One of the grandfathers of personal development, Jim Rohn, once said, "You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with." And here's another statistic for you just to back that up. You are 65% more likely to achieve a goal if you commit to someone. And if you have a specific weekly accountability appointment with a person, you will increase your chance of success by up to 95%. But that is still not good enough for us. So we use a layered approach to accountability. And the final component of that is group. This is how we squeeze the extra 5%. So we guarantee you are successful. Here's an example of one of our clients. His name was Mitch. And one day he was really struggling. He says here he's not trained since Tuesday, lacking the motivation, focus, and he needs some help. Now, men from our community decided to jump in there and they were like, "Hey, I'll get on a Zoom with you at 12 o'clock. Men were saying, "Come on, I've been here before, let's go." Encouraging, supporting, relating to him, knowing how he feels, sharing that he's not alone in his struggles. And this is super, super powerful. And I honestly believe that so many men don't have men who lift them up, who support them, who push them in their lives. Instead, so many men are used to having other men. Now, the problem with environment is while it can really work for you, it can actually hold you back. See, plenty of people want to see you fail. Plenty of people don't want you to succeed because that's going to make them feel bad. So they say things like, "Go on, have a biscuit, have a donut, Jay or Rob will not even know." They say, go on, just 1 or 2 glasses of wine before it turns into the whole bottle, or 1 or 2 beers, whatever your drink of choice is. And plenty of people want to drag you back. So here's a little action step for you. Find yourself a buddy or a community of like-minded men, just like these guys. So what's the next step? Well, everybody's different. You can use this information, you can continue to lone wolf it like you may have been doing in the past, see how that's working out for you. But you've got to ask yourself, how will you do it? How will you create lasting habits? How will you build flexible fitness into your lifestyle? How will you create sustainable nutrition? How will you make sure you do what you said you would do and follow through? How will you handle the bad days? Because you know as well as I do, these days are actually coming. Now you have a choice to make. You can try and figure this out all on your own. You can sit at your computer, find a couple of videos on YouTube, have no real idea how to bring this all together. And to be honest, probably not get there anytime soon. Or you can take the second choice, which is to get directions on how to get there in the quickest and easiest way from people who've actually mastered this and successfully implemented this system for themselves and hundreds of men, and be there in as little as 8 to 12 weeks. So what we decide to do, as we explained and as we promised at the start of this training, we said for those of you who are serious and committed, whoever stays to the end, we wanted to support you and wanted to give you even more free value. So what we decided to do is, over the next 4 days, we set aside some time to talk with you personally about your goals, about what you want to create for yourself, to help you to get the body, energy, and confidence you actually want. So how the call is going to work is, we're going to talk for around 30 minutes and we'll map out an action plan for you to follow so that you could start losing body fat in less than a week. Yes, you read that right. This call can be really valuable use of 30 minutes of your time and will really equip you to take your body and your body transformation to the next level. Now I want you to know that we've pushed a lot of people to this webinar and our schedule can only handle around 30 strategy sessions over the next 4 days. So you should book now if you see an opportunity for you here, because we really do not want you to miss out on this free strategy session so we can add more value to you and we can help you to create a plan on how you actually move forward. And I'm going to finish with this. Knowledge without good execution is useless. People say knowledge is power, but there's plenty of people teaching you new things, new information. But what are you doing about it? Knowledge without action is useless. So for those who are committed, those who are ready to move forward, this is your chance. This is the line in the sand moment. And every transformation starts with a decision. You decide, now is the time to change. And I want to encourage you to make that change by starting with the first step. And that step for you today is to go ahead and click the button below this video, book in a call with us. What have you got to lose? Have a conversation with us and help us to create a custom action plan on how you can actually move forward and create the level of energy, the level of confidence, and the body that you really want for yourself. And then finally, I just want to say a big thank you for showing up for this training. I'm super excited to have a conversation with you and look forward to speaking to you very, very soon. Bye-bye.